the G35 versus the G37. Which one will come out on top? Let's begin and find out. Well, I hope you enjoyed that intro. I'm here to go over two cars that from the same manufacturer, Infiniti, and how Infiniti improved or didn't improve on the design, and which car looks better ultimately. This could be a bit of an argument, or everyone has their opinions. Let me know in the comments section. There are plenty of people that own G37s and plenty of people that own G35s. I'm going to go over what I feel Infiniti did right and did wrong, and if they improved or didn't. So let's begin. So as you can see here, we are looking at the actual front ends of the car. We're going to start with go through every angle on the car pretty much. So when I look at the front end of the G35 versus the G37, Infiniti made a definite improvement. I think the G37 front end looks great. It looks like an advancement over the G35. They saw what people were normally doing modifications-wise on their G35s and implemented that into the G37's front bumper. They knew that people wanted a little more aggressiveness in their G35s. If you look at the G35's front end here, it's a little plain Jane. It allows for a lot of customization options you can do to make it personal to your own liking. It's dated. The car, went out of, they stopped making it in like '07. So, everything got a little more modern, a little more stylized between that point and now. But as you can see, people used to put eyelids on here to give it a little bit more of an aggressive look. You could see that Infiniti added more curvature to their headlights and almost did like a slight eyelid type look. Or this might have went right around like that, just like this. So they improved the grille. I think the grille looks a lot better. This grille looked great too. I mean, I have nothing against this front end here. It still looks good to this day. It's just a little dated. But this is a way better front end here. So I'm gonna give the front end styling to the G37. Infiniti did a good job here. They improved upon the styling and definitely show that the car can go through the years and look a little better. So and has advanced a little better. So winner to front end goes to G37. So let's head to the next page here where we're going to look at the rear end of the car. So in this area here, we're looking at the rear end. As you can see, I have a lot more G37 photos than G35s, and that's, I'll explain, for one reason, is because it takes a lot more G37 pictures and type of models to come the equivalent of the styling of the G35's front end. The G35 itself, just, oh man, I've been behind this car, and I've seen the front end of a G37 coming up behind me, and it looks great. I love the way it looks. And I've been behind a G35's rear end, and I love the way it looks, man. It just sits perfectly. It's sharp. It just has, a little bit of a masculinity, a roughness, like a good styling to it. All the edges seem to be in the right spot. I love what they did there. I mean, the headlights are edgy. It has a great curve across the top going around. They don't ride too high. Even at nighttime, when you're looking at this car from behind, it's still aggressive with the one halo with the, I guess I'll call these little dots the eyebrows. But it just gives it an anger type look. With the whale fin spoiler, just looks okay. I could deal with a more of a lip. The lips look good. The lip spoilers look good too. But regardless of that, the bumper looks edgy. It's no matter what, all the G35s and G37s have big butts. They have big butts. So but it's how you design it, and they design this really well. It sits and it curves at the bottom here. It doesn't come too far out. It's not that bulbous, but it is of course big. You notice these cars have large bumpers. And everything else about it looks great. I mean, these things look good. I love the way the styling of them looks. To go on to the G37 here, it is a little bulbous. not looking at taking into G35 into account, it got bigger. The back of it just grew, and they protruded the edges here. If you look, they're just kind of wider, but not sharper, just kind of bulbous from the back. Lights are bulbous. This was like a more flatter housing. Now they got very like kind of bubbly here. I don't know what they were going for to curve up the car a little bit. It just lost its I don't want to sound like anything sexist or anything here. It just lost its masculinity. Like its presence on the road kind of got a little weaker. Like car lost some muscle. It's the best way to put it. I really wish they didn't ride this so high. You could see on the G, they did make it steep here. They went steep, but the way the car's designed doesn't look too bad. This they crushed the light a little bit, so it's not, the length of it is not as long, and they kind of just they rode it really high up in the air here. It's almost taken over so much of the actual quarter panel here. Takes up so much. I mean, so much of the quarter panel. You could see here, you could still see a little bit of quarter panel on the color on the G35. I mean, this light rides the whole thing and takes up the whole edge of the quarter panel right to the bumper. It's a lot taller of a light, and I mean, at nighttime, I love the dual halo look of the taillights. It is still aggressive, but it's lost. It's got a little kind of bubbly and kind of chubby, I feel like. And I think I've never been a fan of this chrome trunk lip spoiler lip thing they've done here. I don't like that either. I don't know why they did that. They should have kept a uniform paint style through there. Probably would have looked really good too. Or, you know, and I see the backup camera, and probably integrate that into the infinity sign would have been pretty awesome. But I included this picture here of what it would have looked with a lip spoiler. Again, I'll start with this photo. It gets improved upon when they add this lip spoiler to it, which I think should be a instant option you should add on it. It should have this lip spoiler. It looks great with it. But, of course, there's still the aspects of the headlights going too high and everything like that, just still being a little bulbous. I'm going to, again, improve on the G37 some more than Infiniti should have done, and that is the convertible. If you look at the taillights, they don't go up to all the way up to here, you know? They actually go right almost to they are I could say a thorough improvement over the G35. This is the way the G35's taillights should have went into becoming the G37. The dual halos, but yet if you look, it's the light, the steepness is gone, and it's nice and long and sleek and comes around. I love the way that looks. It doesn't feel like the back bumper is overpowered by taillight. This is so much taillight. You know, this is just the taillight flows and integrated into the bumper so well. If I would say between the G35 and the G37, I would choose the G35 here still, because it still looks that much better. But the G37 could have had an opportunity to win here. Again, they still included the chrome lip here. But if you get the actual the trunk lid spoiler here with these taillights, the convertible is amazing to look at. I've seen it with all those things, and it looks great from the back. Only problem is it's a little bit fat. It's still a little fat because it's got to fit all those mechanical components in the inside of it, so it's still it has that fattening style that most convertibles suffer from when they have all that metal to put in there. So, yep, I'd say the G35 still takes it on this one here. Also, G35 didn't have a convertible back then either. So, but yeah, the G35 takes it in that aspect. Continuing on. Here we have the side profiles of both cars. Oh man, I hate to do it again, but if you look at both of these back to back, the G35, Lord, I don't know what it is about it. I have to say, man, it's a timeless design. This thing it just stays looking good. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. what I guess again they've lost some of the sharpness of the G37 here. As you can see, the G35 has this perfect line that flows from the fender, right from the front fender, all the way back across the door, across the quarter panel, right to the taillight. It gives the car such a great sense of motion. When you're sitting there and you just look back at it, it always looks like it's moving. It has just the airflow. It looks like it's just always driving all the time. See, the G37 lost that line. They got rid of it when they could have included it right on the edge here from the taillight. I mean, from the headlight. The headlight has a tip here, and it could have come right across here really prominently from the door back. It would have looked really good. But they went and did something with the taillight here, which they did here, but it's more in the middle of the car, which gives it a great style. I mean, but they did it from the top, and they curved it along the edge here, which the G35 already has here too. And just went and then merged it right into the windows. It disappears right into the windows, which I don't like that. It just doesn't have that aggressiveness. It has a more of a bubbly look now. Again, I hate to say it, they just lost some of its masculinity. It lost a little bit. It became more of a more rounded off, curvier car. Again, the roof line is very similar to the G35's roof line, so it's not much change there. But everything about it is a little bit more tame, I'd say. They tamed it down. Just look at this fender flare here. You know, they even have this, I mean, wide fender flare on this car. G37 has a little bit of fender flare, but it flows into the body a little bit more subtly now. It just kind of hides itself a little more. I love how it's just more raw in the G35. Everything was a little more raw back then. So I mean, I gotta give this styling straight up to the G35. I think they went with more of a sports car and turned it to more of a luxury coupe. And they lost some people here with that. You know, they should have kept it a little bit more in between. I know they wanted the luxury style. This is a sports coupe, and it looks great, man. I don't know why Infiniti changed so much with it, because this was a car in '04. It looked way beyond its time. It was beautiful. And right now, it still lives up to it as a timeless design. It looks great from any angle. It allows for your own personal customization to make it look great, because it's starting from much more of a base standpoint. But it's great looking. I can't deny this car is great. So let's add the scores here, and let's see which one won in the end. So G35 wins this one in the side comparison. So we're going to give this 2 points. We're going to give this 1 here for the G37. Here I'm going to give the points. I'm going to give, because it could have been good with this, I'm going to give it a 1.5 here, because it could have, and Infiniti designed it. It's there, but they should have made it a little more uniform. It's too different amongst all of them. So I mean, not counting this, but between these two, not everyone can get a convertible, and not everyone wants a coupe. They could have made it a little bit more closer together, but I guess they want to distinguish it a little more. But the taillights look way better on the car, so I'm going to give that a 1.5. This still gets a straight up 2. It wins it. It's just a beautiful rear end of a car. And the front, the G gets 1 because it is more dated and a little more plain looking. And I love the G37's front end. This is going to get a 2 here. So if we count them up, the G37's got 2, 1.5, so 3.5, so 4.5. Not bad, G37. I'm surprised I can write on screen so well. The G35 gets 2. It has 4 and 5. It wins just by a hair, though. It wins just by a hair. So, you know what? It's still a good car. I honestly think the G37 would still be a great upgrade, because most things have been improved upon as a whole within it. But as a car that I think Infiniti should have just done a little bit more with. They could have made it look a little bit more and kept to the generation of the G35 a little bit, because it just looks amazing. I mean, from the rear end, also having that perfect, it has that perfect, that line comes down and curves at the end too. I love how it curves there. It gives it that saloon style, like almost like a lot of German cars, like BMW and Audis are more Audis going with now. You know, it makes the car look like it should be a hatchback, honestly. This feels like the back window, when you open it, should all come up. Like, it doesn't have a trunk, which the car really doesn't have much of a trunk. It's got barely any space. But it just looks so fluid. It's so fluid. I love it. So the G35 wins this battle here. If you guys have any other comments or you have any other opinions you want to add to the comments, go for it. I'm open to reading everything. I probably will have other battles and comparisons I want to do in the future about my opinions and everything, but everyone owns some of these cars. Some people own G35s, some people own G37s. They'll have their own mindset on what they believe looks nice about it. Go ahead. Let's have a little argument in the comments section on what you think looks better and which one you think should be the winner. So again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys again with another video in the future. Talk to you later.